So, first of all, I'd like to start with you, Christophe. Can I call you Christophe, though you're a mayor? Yeah? And we were talking already there about, city action and what cities are doing to be smarter and so forth in terms of litter. But tell us a little bit about Angers and, where it is, and what it is you're doing, and how you are smart or trying to be smarter.
So, thank you for your question. Angers is a French city, so it's very weird for me to speak in France, in front of French people, but not only French, in English, to describe my city and our very particular smart territory project. So, Angers is a city in the western France, in the Loire Valley, in the place where there is more castle than co-working places. And we have an urban area with 400,000 inhabitants. And we are ranked since several years as the best city of France for quality of life.
Wow.
So if you think France is the best country for quality of life, when you know Angers is the best city for quality of life, you can think I am the mayor of the best city in the world for quality of life. And it was important for my fellow citizens, but equally for international, because we have the reputation to be arrogant. And if with only one sentence, I prove we have in France some traditions, including an ability of auto-derision. Please. We have a second speciality, if I can say, because we are the greenest city of France, for the largest, with 100 square meters per inhabitant of vegetal garden parks.
Wow.
We have in our city 216 garden and parks, some tiny, some huge, but every inhabitant can in 5 minutes by foot find a vegetal place to rest, to play with his kids, and so it's something very important for us.
Now, given all this, that it's the best city in France for quality of life, all's going so well already, why do you take the decision to become a smart city and become smarter and go, you're all green and everything, but to be using data and all this kind of tech stuff, people think, why don't you just be traditional France, green, lovely to live, eat your cheese and so forth, but you're doing the data stuff. Why?
Because of the global warming. The reason we decide to launch the largest smart city project in France, largest by his scale, by his ambition, by his scope, is precisely the need we have to change things for remain the best city of quality of life. We have to anticipate, we have to correct effects of global warming using the best of human intelligence. The situation we know is the result of humanity. When Jeff is presenting a photo and this project, all the plastic version is not natural. It's the human effect of our behavior. But at the other end, humans have the ability to invent solutions to fight global warming with technology, with digital solutions. And so we bet on the human solution to change things locally. So, to be concrete, because I guess it's the principle, not only expose theoretically what it's possible, but what we are doing right now. So we've launched a 180 million euro project of digitalization of smart region for the Great Angers. And we select French companies, Engie and Suez, to deploy 40,000 sensors connected to an hypervisor. We will replace 8 separate supervisor centers, and to fight against global warming, to reduce our consumption of drinkable water, fuel, electricity, gas, to promote renewable energies, to fight equally against the waste, not only of resources, but of public money, and to make savings, because we are spending 180 million euros on one end, but we will save at least 100 millions of non-renewable energies during the 12 years of the contract we just decided. And so, at the end of the day, just after deployment of infrastructures, we have to convince the inhabitants, the associations, the company to be part of it. There is a technological part in this contract and a human and inclusive one. We will begin at the middle of this year after the beginning of deployment of all these sensors.
Thank you. Nils, turning to you now, I mean, could you tell us a bit about what you're doing, your country, your region, your city? We've heard a lot from France, Angers. What's going on where you're doing?
Should I present a little bit from
Sure.
Umeå? Yes. Bonjour, enchanté d'être ici. So, then thank you so much for being here. Well, Umeå is working a lot with digitalization and innovation.
Where exactly is Umeå?
Oh, Umeå is in the northern parts of Sweden. It's one of the biggest cities up there. So, I don't know, do I have a... Oh, is it that one?
Ah. Clicker.
No, the thing to point, yeah. I actually have some pictures to show you a little bit so you can see a bit more about Umeå. So it's up there. And let me tell you a little bit about Innovative Umeå. Let's see. So Umeå is a fast-growing city. Should I press anything here? Here we go.
Innovation thrives in Umeå, in the buzzing Arctic region. Maybe it's because we always relied on each other.
We understood early the importance of connectivity and digitalization.
We believe in doing things together. Action and collaboration untangle complexity.
We believe in curiosity and the melting pot between people and ideas.
We believe in diversity and gender equality to find new, innovative perspectives.
We believe in sustainable ideas and empowering democracy to make the world a better place.
So Umeå is a fast-growing young university city, and it's vital for Umeå and our region to have a sustainable growth that makes our region attractive to live in. We have doubled our population in 40 years, and we're going towards 200,000 inhabitants by 2050. And it's not only a goal, but an absolute necessity to get there in a sustainable way, and with respect to the surrounding environment. We are talking about the environmental, economical, social, and cultural sustainability. So it's a great opportunity and possibility, but also a big challenge to change policies and ways of doing things. The challenge is to keep a growing Umeå being a city where we create conditions for well-being for all of our inhabitants. So gender equality, city planning, climate neutrality, building infrastructure, and affordable housing is a few of our focus areas with high ambitions. We are here to talk about data for a sustainable smart city. And the EU Regional Social Progress Index aims to measure social progress for each region as a complement to traditional measures of economic progress. It's based on 50 indicators, primarily from Eurostat. It builds on feedback from the public and experts in the field. So as the city that 2019 hosted the first European Social Progress City Summit, we believe that this measurement is one of the most important. This should be one of our most essential goals, to have a livable city within the limits of our planet and surrounding environment. We have worked with social innovation, gender-based urban planning, and put sustainability high on the agenda in the city for over 50 years. The city administration has a committee on gender equality since 1989. We've created new forms of collaboration between the private and the public sector to be able to challenge existing norms and traditions when it comes to planning and building new neighborhoods. We can see the results where gender-based city planning is one of our flagships when it comes to sustainability. So we say stand up for a more socially progressive Europe. The battle for a fairer, healthier and balanced society that acknowledges its diversity will be won or lost in cities. Progressive, innovative cities embrace the young, the old, the women, the people with differing ethnicities and origins, abilities and lifestyle. We should therefore encourage those who lead the way by acknowledging and learning from them. The call for a European Capital of Social Progress Award was signed by 10 cities and organizations in connection with the first Social Progress City Summit held in Umeå last year. It is open for any city and organization that supports the cause to sign. Join the movement and sign the declaration in order to urge the European Commission to establish the European Capital of Social Progress Award. It is not just to collect data, it is also important to visualize it and have an open platform to show it and make use of it. This creates engagement from citizens and entrepreneurs. This makes it also more easy to use as a decision-making tool. We launched this platform in 2019. It shows Umeå's CO2 emissions from our citizens' consumption patterns. It is divided into different neighborhoods and gives tips to citizens of behavior change. Through funding from the European Union Regional Development Fund in Umeå, Umeå conducted a project called the Low Carbon Place. The key areas was to get the new knowledge through studies and testing on how public sector can support a sustainable lifestyle. It made it possible for Umeå to be one of the first municipalities in Sweden to explore and calculate the climate impact of consumption of its residents. In addition to the traditional calculation from our geographical area, we now know how our citizens is impacting the climate. We can also see differences between our neighborhoods. This makes it possible to start acting on the information and measure our activities. It is important that all planning is following an open, democratic and equal process. Public space are developed so that everyone, girls, boys, women and men, can spend time with equal rights. Start planning with children, youth and individuals with disabilities when building the city that leads to a city for all. It is important to follow up and see the progress in the city and ensure positive and healthy and green environment for our citizens. We can support our citizens to have a sustainable lifestyle that creates values for our community and citizen. To measure both social and environmental progress is of highest importance to us. To make data available for new ideas, Umeå launched an open data platform last year that is accessible for all. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you for telling us about what's going on in Umeå.
Yes.
Mayor Christophe, I'm wondering how much of that resonated with you, and what's your feedback on that? Just as a listener, a mayor?
I have a great feedback because I guess the number of cities is a luck. We can experiment in different cities, different solutions, and add these solutions. And it's easier in a city rather than in a country to launch an hydrogen project, to collect anonymous data to help people to build their own apps or solutions. And so we have to benchmark, we have to work together. We have a very strong cooperation with a Sweden city, Södertälje,
Yes.
which is a very inclusive Swedish city.
Yeah.
And so it's why we are I am totally and deeply convinced that international relation for cities is not like yesterday, something for culture or folklore. It's really something absolutely essential to find solution, to build interculturality between people, and to help all of us to grow, to change our behavior.
Now, based on your own experience, what would be and the lessons learned, what would be your advice to other mayors across France, across Europe?
Come to Angers. You have to visit our forum, you have to visit our hypervisor, because really our ambition is to build a living lab in a human-sized city of the best of technological for ecological transition. Our ambition is not to be the best digital or technological city, is to be the best one for ecological transition. For example, we don't use face recognition. We don't use numbers of video protection cameras. We want to really reduce our consumption of water. Just one example, with sensors in our garden and parks, we won't stop to watering every morning automatically all the parks and gardens. If the rain was efficient, if the morning dew was efficient, we don't have to water, and it will be some hundreds of thousands of euros saved for the planet and for the inhabitants and for the taxes.
Yes, exactly. Thank you, Christophe. Briefly to you, final question to you, Nils. What would your advice be to your peers in other cities across Europe, across the world, based on your experience?
Well, I think one of the most important things is really to engage the city. We need to have the citizens and we need to have the local businesses with us when we make the transition. The dialogue, listening in and doing things together is the most essential if we want to make a change. Because people need to understand the benefit that they can get from the changes. See that this is something that can benefit them too, and that we do it together.
Nils Larsen, tack. Christophe Béchu, merci beaucoup. Thank you. Round of applause, please.